turn on.
How do you keep finding your way out of your sweater? You're like a tramp walking over here. You got one arm in, one arm out. It's become like that weird.
She's like wearing a tube
halter
top. Like, come on, guys, you know you want it.
Come on, Pops.
I'll lick whatever you want for some chicken strips.
Hey everyone, welcome to So I Married a Geek, the first episode of the week that features the dog.
And her lovely little outfit.
Which she keeps finding like one arm out of, so it becomes like a tube top. I don't know how she does this.
But we got her a Sugar Skull sweater. I used to tell Gavin, y'all, that if we ever had a cute little dog, I wanted a French bulldog named Elsa. I was like, if we had a dog, you'd have her in Disney costumes every year. He's like, no, I wouldn't. And then when we were shopping, he saw the perfect little costume for Queenie, who's not a little dog. He got it for her, and then when we put it on her, she looks miserable. She's always like, why am I wearing clothes?
But it's like a blanket. I figured it'd be like a blanket. She likes being in the blanket.
Because she always has to be under a blanket, though.
So...
She's talking. She's letting us know she's mad about something.
Welcome to So I Married a Geek, your journey into the life of myself, Gavin, and my husband.
Phil, since I can't say Zool anymore.
And this was going to be our last Halloween episode. We're going to call it Freaks and Geeks. Because I know a lot of strange people. And I embrace strange. They're interesting. I love them. Some of them were too much, and I had to not deal with them after a while. But it was hilarious because one of the things Phil had told me when we first cased, I guess it was after the Halloween party, the first Halloween party, and you met a lot of the people, and he had this to say.
Y'all, what I told Gavin was I had only heard or read about people like his friends. Like, I took a lot of sociology classes, a lot of women's studies classes, gender studies classes, psychology classes, and I read articles about subcultures, and I just never thought that I would meet them in person. And in one night, I met just about everybody that I had read about in articles. I met my first furry, I met my first brony, I met my first gender fluid person. I mean, just did not know what really surprised me, and it was a hard lesson to learn. In my mind, because they were part of sub-communities, they would be supportive of one another. And it turns out that they don't seem to really like each other. And so I would have these ideas, like one of them did cosplay, and she dressed. I don't think she considered herself trans, but she dressed as a woman. And I was like, oh, well, you could do a fun show where you look at like costume fails of other people. And boy, did I get a look from all of them about how inappropriate it would be to make fun of another cosplayer's costume. I'd never met any cosplayers till I met Gavin.
But so the thing is he came from a different place. Like,
very.
Cosplayers do make fun of other cosplayers online. Like, it's a normal thing. We were not wanting to go down that route.
I didn't know it was offensive.
And so he was very new to this, and that he kind of shut down from everybody because of that. I was like, you can't take it personally. You didn't know. But there are certain things we try to do and not do just as a supportive community, because Kaiju Labs, we've got everybody here. And it was funny because, yeah, a lot of times they didn't always mesh together very well. But at the end of the day, we were all friends. So it was hilarious. It was like, I've never met a Brody before. I expected it to be a lot weirder. And then he did meet a weird Brody, and
the weird thing was, I met an arrogant, cocky brony who talked shit about people who didn't understand bronyism, who was also a furry and was talking shit about other furries, and that's where I was getting really confused. And I went to Gavin, I was like, wait, I don't get it. He's a brony. Why is he talking so much shit about this other guy who's a brony? And Gavin was trying to explain like the dynamic between the two of them and why this guy thought he was the superior true brony and the other guy was a poser. And I was like, okay, but he's also a furry. But then he's making fun of this girl he met at a convention who was dressed in her furry costume, and he was talking about how desperate and pathetic she was. but why? He's a furry too. Why would he look at her that way? And the sociologist in me wanted to understand these dynamics. And Gavin did the best he could to explain them to me. But all I took away was everybody go and let they freak flag fly, and you just have to be there and be friendly and supportive. And that's what I've learned to do. I do my best not to judge. I will say there are times where I'm not going to name names, and there are some descriptions I would use that would give away who we're talking about. But there are people who come up with being trans and that they're also trans species into other types of animals, and that they're not complete and don't feel normal unless they're in their furry costume and that's when they're truly themselves. I don't understand it. I'm trying not to judge it. But there's also a point where it's like you're inviting your own hell. You're complaining about how people mock you when you dress that way, but you don't have to dress that way. Dress that way at home.
But that's the purpose of being who you want to be.
I know,
And I know there should
in
be
my
limits.
world, you're supposed to keep that at home.
So it's been fun watching him explore this world because, like, when I think you were in the studio when we had the Vampire Council there. You realized the other day there was vampire clan drama through cities.
I had no idea that was going on.
There are the like weirdly overly dark goth girls, and there's the Wiccans we've met, and like Andy's pagan. So.
I mean, when I went to New Orleans, so I'm a nerd. When I was in high school, I competed in nationals for Latin. It was in New Orleans. When I was in New Orleans, I was invited into this bar that was for vampires and werewolves. And I met this lady who swore that she was originally a French prostitute from the 17th century that came over on the ship because France didn't want her. And when she got here, she became a vampire.
Must have been a good prostitute then.
And she had been living in New Orleans, and she was well known. Everybody knew who she was. She was dressed well. She had nice diamonds and stuff. And then I met this guy who was a werewolf who swore he was from the lost city of Ur, and that if people would have listened to his story, he could have told the history of mankind because he was thousands of years old. I didn't get it. I'm not going to say I don't believe in vampires or werewolves because one of the things I've learned about this universe is it's infinite, and anytime you put infinity in a divisor, you're going to get infinite possibility. But finding out that within Austin we had vampire clan wars was like, Jesus, even in New Orleans, the vampires get along. Why can't we get along here? What the fuck?
And then there's the LARPers.
That I had a harder time understanding.
He had a very hard time understanding it,
especially at my wedding.
There's some different viewpoints on it, and I always tell them, okay, these people are celebrating who they want to be and have fun. And there's lots of jokes about LARPing, like lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Like there's so many jokes that you make about LARPing, but at the end of the day, these people create a game system that works. They put in time and effort, and the fighting, the foam weapons and the armor, creating the fight systems, gathering together to do this.
I wrote a theme song for one of y'all's people, so I'm supportive.
So him learning about not judging it on the surface has been lots of fun because there's way more that goes into it. The furries, I don't always get. More power to you. And he and I will watch those weird shows like I'm into pony play, and I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. We're not fetish shaming. It's just we don't understand how this became a thing. Like, who was the first one who said, I want to play to be a pony?
Or the one we were watching the other day. Who wakes up and is like, I want to wear a dog collar and a leash, and I want to have to ask my master for permission to drink water and eat food. Like, that to me, that goes beyond fetishism, and to me it seems almost like a paraphilia. Like therapy might help, because who wakes up and wants to live in a dog cage and drink out of a dog bowl and not have the free will to decide their own meals because their master has to approve it first? I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I see that and I wonder for that poor girl.
How did it come to be?
How did this happen? What led you to desire living in a cage with a dog collar on that identifies you should you walk outside and get lost and need them to call your owner and return you?
Yeah, I mean, there's still some things we don't collectively get. Super supportive. I mean, always going to be supportive. But that
Let me
doesn't mean
put
we
it
have to
this way:
understand.
if she was ever in trouble, I would never let that aspect of her life stop me from helping her. If she needed help, God help, I wouldn't give a fuck that she was wearing a dog collar and had a master. I'd be there to help her and beat the shit out of whoever was messing with her. But I'm not saying I fully understand why she would do it.
And yeah, so that we're going to talk more about these changes that society keeps making in the future. But looking at the freaks and geeks, I know I love my freaks and geeks. I love them. I love the fact that I've met so many different types of people.
I'm wearing my weirdo jersey from Buckshot. Proud to be a weirdo because God knows I am one.
I am, yeah, and you realize you're just like everybody else. You're a freak and geek too.
I am in my own way. I have my own freaky shit I like.
And so, and it's just celebrate it, but don't get mad if someone doesn't understand it. We can still be supportive, but
there we go. That's you hit it on the head, and that's something that sorry to cut you off that I would love to say. Do you let your freak flag fly, but don't take it personally when people don't understand and start asking and asking you questions. And even if they start talking shit, let your haters be your motivators. You be you. If you let them get to you and you let it hurt you, they win and they take away from you. I'm a weirdo. I dress funny. I have my own style of clothing. You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like my haircut. You don't like my haircut. I'm learning to be okay with who I am and love who I am.
And that's been a process.
It's been a process. And I'm sharing that with you guys out there because I know how hard it is for people to say horrible things to you that you believe and internalize and take it to be the truth. It's not. You do you, own it, love it, live it, be you.
And I 100% echo that sentiment. Be who you want to.
Is she gnawing on you?
No, she's like mouth licking my finger, like it's kind of gross.
She was gumming you.
I don't know what she's doing. I'm all for it. I don't always understand it, but I'll always be there to support you. And I've loved showing you the freaky and geekier side of the people.
It has been quite
It's just
a journey.
at first, it was really hard for me all. Like I was like,
I almost shut down because it was like, there's too much. There's too many of them. I don't even know what to do here.
We outnumbered them a lot.
It was one of our first dates too. It was like our 5th or 6th date. It was your Halloween party, and I was all excited to get to meet your friends. And I was like, oh, like one of his friends, the one I said, I don't know if she identifies as trans, but she came as Daphne. And I was like, wow, Daphne looks fucking hot. And then we were talking, and Daphne used her real voice. I was like, oh, Daphne got quite a deep voice. That's quite interesting. But boy, does she look just like fucking Daphne.
Yeah, I love cosplayers. That's why I love Harley and Jill so much. They're freaks like us. They're really good at what they do. I love having them in our family.
Shit. My hag Angie,
you should fucking see, amazing.
You should see the stuff she puts together: the bodices, the dresses, the costumes. That girl can sew her ass off.
It is a fucking art. I love it. I love the art of cosplay. I love the art behind LARPing. I've only done a couple times, and it was fun, but it's not something I would get into. I've seen the darker side of it, seen the positive side of it. I love that kind of stuff. I love it. I love it. I love this becoming more mainstream. It's becoming more accepted. But like we said, don't expect everyone to understand it. You'll be a lot better off if you just let people be people.
And just remember, there are a lot of stupid people out there in the world who have a view that's this narrow. Don't let narrow-minded idiots fuck with you.
Yeah.
That's a whole other episode we could talk about.
So, happy Halloween from us here at So I Married a Geek.
Happy Halloween from the dog who's trying to eat her sweater.
We are going to be going into November. We're probably going to take a week off, getting closer to Thanksgiving. And because holidays are a very busy time.
We might do short like travel videos or like us in the car going out shopping or something.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to miss us.
Yeah. We've had a lot of fun doing this. So please subscribe wherever you're watching, comment,
like, share,
love, do all the fun stuff.
Ask us questions.
Yeah, this really has been a passion project I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm putting a lot of effort behind it. He's actually on camera. You guys got to hear his first song this week.
That was.
We've had a lot of
special.
fun. And the dog showed up today after not being mad at us because she couldn't find her way out here.
Wearing her little costume. She's so precious.
And yeah, you'll see us on Halloween. We'll do some live videos for the front yard. We'll do the front yard party with the family. And I didn't even know what all Andy's kids are coming as. Like she could do a whole themed costume with the whole.
She could have a softball team.
They could be the Bad News Bears.
For real.
Or what was it? Mighty Ducks.
Manny's Orphans.
Which, before we go, Christmas is coming.
Oh, God.
I made Phil watch a trailer this week.
Y'all.
Because this man loves Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Sacrilege.
I like Home Alone 1. I hated 2. You don't just
Shut
repeat
your
the same
whore mouth.
thing.
The first 2 are classics.
Disney's remaking it.
Sacrilege. You know what? If any of y'all have seen Dogma, y'all remember what I'm talking about. Salma Hayek for this one is going to say someone had to sell their soul to state to get the grosses up on this piece of shit because it just looks like the worst knockoff ever.
It's going right to Disney Plus. It's a remake. Don't think it was necessary.
Was not necessary.
But hopefully it's not just 2 hours of a kid screaming a lot. Because that was so annoying. Run around, scream, ah! Like, you can only do that so many times. But 2 was completely unnecessary.
That's all Wishmaster was.
Well, we're not huge fans of Wishmaster.
You were.
I didn't watch this since I was a kid, but 2 was the most unnecessary sequel ever because they did the exact same thing just in the city of New York. The exact same fucking thing with the same fucking robbers. Like,
hey, it was funny as fuck. They got hurt in different ways. And I'm sorry, when he throws the brick off the building and hits him in the face, like, you just don't know. You just don't know.
So, get ready for the holidays with us with So I Married a Geek. We'll probably, do some Thanksgiving fun because we've got a lot of Thanksgiving to prep because it's got to be dairy-free. This will be vastly interesting. And we're not going to tell anyone it's dairy-free. We're just going to let it go and see if they know.
Yeah.
Well, the macaroni probably can't get away with, but I think everything else will be fine. This will be interesting. This will be the first year I know what I can and can't eat. And, what am I going to do for pie?
I can make dairy.
Well, I can't have apple. I can probably do pumpkin.
Apples make you sick.
Apples are the highest on fructose. I can't have them. They make me sick.
Pears?
I can't do pears. Maybe a strawberry rhubarb pie, because I can do strawberries. I've always wanted to do a strawberry rhubarb pie, y'all. We should do one this year.
Rhubarb is a tool of the devil.
How do we know we don't eat it? It's just red celery.
That is all you. I'm not eating it.
You don't eat pies anyways. You just make them.
I eat pumpkin and I eat pumpkin and pecan.
Oh, I can probably do pecan. Depends on what we use.
Cream pie would be good too.
We have to do it dairy-free, which we can do.
We can do.
It's also, we probably have to make pie crust by hand because they're full of butter.
I don't make pie crust.
You can make pie crust easy. We've done it before. Anyways, yeah, you're going to see us getting ready for Thanksgiving. We're going to do a whole Thanksgiving, what we're doing for Thanksgiving episode. It's going to be hilarious.
I'm going to make you crack eggs.
Fuck you.
That would be the trade-off.
What are crack eggs?
I'm going to make you crack eggs.
Oh, shit. Fuck you. I admit that in the past I've been a nasty. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch. But you'll find that nowadays I've mended all my ways. The pit had seen the light and made a switch 2 years. And I fortunately know a little magic. It's a talent that I always have possessed. And dear lady, please don't laugh. I use it on behalf of the miserable, the lonely, and depressed.